Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tell Me Why. We're starting the second chapter. So after the weirdly patched together, Mike will have to patch it together. End of the last chapter because I didn't realize the chapter was ending, and then did an outro in the middle of.
Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, there lived a pair of crafty goblins.
The crafty goblins did everything together, until one day, when darkness overwhelmed the big wooden house in which they lived.
Blamed for the darkness, Brother Goblin was forced to leave the forest, while his sister had to stay behind.
Years later, they were finally reunited, and together, they decided to confront the darkness in the big wooden house.
Though they sought the help of their friends in the forest, they found that no one wanted to delve into the long-gone past.
This is how the goblins found themselves alone in the woods, trying to discover why darkness had submerged the big wooden house.
There we go. That's a good intro. Very cute. Now what's happening?
Tomorrow we should play Compass and North Star in the woods.
Be sure to wear your hat then.
You be sure to wear your hat.
All right, who wants ice cream?
Me!
Eat up.
Those are Big Bull's eyes.
Without a word, she went out and buried the tiara in the ground beneath the sapling. And as the final scoop of dirt fell, the tiara felt truly gone, and with it, the final link to her old self. She could only go forward and find a new place for herself in this world, where she was no longer truly a princess in a tiara and a beautiful gown, but a wan woman, alone in a deep and ancient wood. And that was how the princess lost her most precious treasure, and her title.
I don't like that story. There were no goblins, and it was depressing.
We won't read it again.
I love you, Mom. Not me. Just kidding. Love you, Mom.
Mwah. I love you too. Sleep well and dream, my doves.
Ollie? Ollie?
Oops, sorry.
What a waste.
Allison! Ollie? Allison, help! need to call for help. Allison. I killed Mom. I killed her.
Okay, alright. Chapter 2, that's quite the intro. And it's called Family Secrets. We are going to start by reading, I think I owe you like 2 stories from the book. So, well, when we get to the part where we actually can do things. So I'm going to read a couple stories from the book, or at least one, and then maybe one later on as we go on. Hopefully, this is not copyrighted music. If not, this part will be very silent. But that's okay. Because, yeah. This is cool transitions. I like that. I like this. This is really cool. I really like this segment. Let's do back and forth. I think it's a good way of illustrating memory and like all those things.
Hey. You doing all right?
I thought coming here would be closing a chapter of our lives, you know?
And instead, we've spun off a whole miserable prequel trilogy. Okay. No. We're not letting ourselves do this again. Come on, up. Mind-numbing labor's a great way to forget your troubles.
Can't we just have coffee instead?
No. On your feet, soldier. Let's take a break from packing and sort out the furniture. If we get enough done, I'll drive you into town and buy you a gallon of ice cream.
Mint chocolate chip, 2 gallons. Let's do this. Goblin face is keep, $sign is donate or sell, and trash can is, well, trash. By the way, I cleared out most of the stuff from the bathroom this morning, but I left you the toilet.
How very generous of you.
Okay, we're at Allison right now, but I'm gonna at least read. Let's read the story because I think we read the one about the frog, right? So let's read The Bear and the Princess. I don't think we've read this one. Once upon a time, in an ancient deep forest, the old bear stood on the bank of the river, swiping at salmon on their way to the spawning grounds. Just as he'd gotten his pond particularly fat when he heard a woman shouting for help. He considered simply eating the salmon, but then she screamed again, and she lumbered over to investigate. After a short walk, he found the princess clinging to the top of the tree while a wolf snarled and snapped at the base of the tree. The old bear would normally not get in the middle of such a situation, but after all, as a fellow predator, he understood the wolf's need to hunt. But when he saw the princess he was struck by her beauty, and he knew he had to help. With a great roar, the bear heaved onto his hind legs, raising to his full height. The wolf snapped and snarled in his direction, but the bear roared again, and the wolf took off into the trees, tail between his legs. The old bear fell back down into all fours and stared up at the princess. She regarded him fearfully. "You can come down," he said. "How do I know you didn't just save me so you could eat me yourself?" asked the princess. "I suppose that's a fair question," admitted the bear. "But I promise I won't eat you." The princess had no reason to trust the old bear, except that he had kind eyes, and so she slowly made her way down the tree, and when she reached the ground, the bear only watched her, and so she supposed she was going to be eaten. She was not going to be eaten today. "Thank you," she said to the old bear. "Of course," he said. "Can I walk with you back to your home?" "Of course," said the princess. And so the princess and the old bear walked together through the forest, back to the big wooden house. After that day, the princess would occasionally find gifts from the bear: a fresh-caught salmon, a handful of ripe berries, a newly bloomed bluebell. One spring, when a sudden thaw flooded the path of the princess's home, the old bear was there, and she rode his back across the river. The old bear began to think that the princess should be his mate. After all, she had no mate, and she needed one, and he could keep her warm and provide her with a much more suitable den and catch fish for her and protect her from wolves. She, in turn, would brush out his fur and pick berries without smushing half of them and scratch that one part of his back he couldn't reach. And with how she took care of the goblins, she would be an excellent mother for his cubs. One day the old bear came with a ring of spruce and asked the princess to be his bride. "I'm sorry," said the princess. "You are a very good friend, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I cannot marry you. You're a bear. I'm a princess. It would never work." The old bear was crushed. "Can we still be friends?" he asked. We will always be friends," said the princess, "but I will never marry you." The old bear and the princess carried on their friendship, and after 1 year he tried again to ask her to be his bride, but once again she refused. This happened 1 year later, and 1 year after that, and finally the princess said, "Old bear, you are my dear friend, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I would sooner you have left me to the wolves than marry you, and that is how it will always be. I have my hands full with the 2 goblins who live under my house, and they are all I need." The wounded old bear that wounded the old bear deeply, but it finally was enough to stop his proposals. They remained friends, and he continued to give her gifts of fresh salmon and ripe berries and newly bloomed bluebells. But the old bear never again asked the princess to be his bride, much as he might have wanted to. And that is how the princess befriended the old bear and how she refused to. Okay, so I think after every cutscene, maybe we'll try to do some
Crummy
things.
table and wobbly chairs.
I mean,
We could make some pretty good money if we sell this. And I know I'd end up eating on the couch most of the time anyway.
Oh, oh God, what's that smell?
What's that smell?
I hit the remember button.
What's that smell? Smells like delicious garbage. Ooh, yes, delicious indeed. Or could it be Stinky Pants Sam? Oh, Stinky Pants Sam!
Come on now. Sam got that smell getting a skunk out of our barn. Be nice.
A skunk? What did you do to her? Is she okay?
Sure is. She just went hunting for food and couldn't get back out. All she needed was a little nudge to get her on her way.
Sam Kansky, hero of skunk kind.
I remember being super impressed by him, and it made me want to be a wild animal superhero too.
You hungry? We have a whole lot of nothing.
Aw, I was hoping maybe you could make me one of those pickle and ketchup sandwiches.
I'm sorry, sir. We are all out of pickles today. Could I interest you in a ketchup-only sandwich? Looks like there's still a bottle back here.
Ew.
Says the guy who used to eat peanut butter with ranch.
Mm-mm. So good.
Thank you. Dumping cake ingredients. We don't really enjoy that. Okay, yes.
Ancient appliances, you are staying here. Although, that oven looks in okay enough shape.
No way. We are not moving the oven.
We'll move the
What to do with this? Tables are expensive. And besides, this one's an Allison and Tyler original.
Look, a bear. It says goblins are
What's
here.
this doing down here? Is that gum? Ugh. I guess that was probably me.
Goblins were here. We got, oh, it's a frog. The big frog. Oh, this-
I completely forgot we had a pet vole for a few days.
Poor Volcano. She was in rough shape when we
Volcano.
found her.
I love
Good
that.
thing Marianne actually knew what she was doing with injured wildlife.
Let's find the memory spot.
Lasagna! Lasagna!
Finish your salad first. Thank you, Tessa. You're a lifesaver.
Oh, don't worry about it. They're just leftovers from the restaurant.
What about Volcano? She needs to eat her lunch too.
Oh, quite right, love.
She can have my corn.
Here you go, little one. You must be hungry too.
Okay, no, I like
Tessa really did keep us all fed.
She always tried to take care of everyone. Still does, I guess.
I guess it's finally time to take these pictures down.
Yeah. Still deciding what to do with them.
I mean, most of them are pretty happy memories.
I guess.
You look cute here.
That's not me. I mean, it is, but
But not really. I get it.
it's just weird. Seeing myself like that again. Damn. Didn't think a picture could throw me like this anymore.
I'm sorry. That sounds really rough.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like 1,000 times better. But I've got a ways to go before I'm comfortable taking my shirt off. Which is why I'm scheduling my top surgery as soon as we sell this house. No more putting a binder on every morning. God, that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, totally. And just so you know, I'll be there to help out when you do. Whatever you need.
Thanks.
All right. What's your verdict, Ronan?
You know what? I'll keep a few. To remind us how far we've come.
Okay, we didn't look at the other ones. Then stop letting us, I guess. Oh, we can do this.
Oh man, I love this one.
Why do I look so pissed? I remember loving this.
Maybe because Marianne was sticking a camera in your face?
Come on, smile like Allison.
Well, I didn't realize that
like Allison.
Hold up your fish.
It's not my fish anymore. Allison stole it.
My sister, the fish thief.
You were just being bratty.
Was I, though?
Yes. All I did was help clean it when we were out on the porch. Eddie had to force you to share. Ugh, gross stain is gross.
What happened?
Some unfortunate spillage that brought about the end of indoor tea parties. I hid the stain with my toys, forgetting that they would eventually be picked up.
Brilliant move, Ronan.
I like how many memories we're finding as we go through all this stuff. But I am. Oh, it's left chair.
I was so afraid that Marianne would ground me for the rest of my life.
But she didn't, right?
No. I remember her saying that sufficiently adventurous play ensures that accidents will happen, and that it wasn't a big deal. But still, no more tea parties inside.
I agree with that philosophy. Now we have the right, I guess. Is it over there where the stain is? Or I'm not sure. Okay, well, I for a second had a memory thing, and now I no longer. Wait, okay, I am out here.
Steady now. Take your time.
Oh, it's
He's not gonna jump up and do the cha-cha.
What about me? I want to clean the fish too.
It's not even your fish. You didn't catch anything.
Ugh, only because you wouldn't stop talking and scared all the fish away.
Keep your eyes on what you're doing. Allison, when we're done with this half, you can take over and do the other one. That sound fair?
Yes.
You're right. I was kind of being a brat.
Just gotta be the bread. Looking for other furnitures. There doesn't seem to be much here, but
Everywhere I look, there's just stuff, stuff, and more stuff.
Marianne the Magpie.
okay.
Hello, ancient broken down machines that will be the future owner's problem.
Okay, I'll leave to the future. There's more pictures. I pushed the look button and okay, there you go. Okay, we're literally
We
just
don't
like-
really want to keep anything in here, right?
Thanks for clearing out those cabinets.
Not my pleasure.
Oh, ew, ew, ew. Raven Sarah,
Oh, God. I can still taste it. Put it away. Ugh.
say ah. Ah.
I remember cutting off shaving cream beards with these.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
What about that dresser?
If you want your towels to rot, go for it.
Fair enough. Junkyard.
Yes, here, I don't think so. Okay, upstairs then, I guess.
And what do you know? More stuff. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. Hey, Tyler. How does 5 little monkeys go again? 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell down and bumped his head.
Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
So cute. Find where the memory is. It's over here.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Or out of a tree.
Don't say that. Mama's gonna be so mad you had to go to the hospital.
She worries way too much about what people think.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah.
When's Mom coming home?
She'll be here soon. Is anyone hungry?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
You scared me to death when you fell out of that tree. I cried most of the way to Tessa's house.
It was kind of exciting going to the hospital, but the part after that with Marianne, that was less fun.
I remember the look that Tessa gave her when she finally came home. If looks could kill, right?
Yeah, and Marianne was a mess.
Baloney. Guess who I found? Baloney.
Alley Belly Baloney? Why, yes. I would love to have a tea party with you. Again. For the third time today.
I like going through their memories like this.
We should gather up all our old...
Hey, did you finish packing upstairs?
Nope. There's way too much junk to sort through. Will this ever stop feeling so weird?
Congratulations, you found the map that will lead you on with no mishaps. Follow my trails of twinkling stones, and perchance you'll escape the unknown. Cool. Like that.
So long, trusty bunk beds.
Dearest Ollie, how are you? I am in the boathouse and everything is going very well. I am writing this letter to formally invite you to my tea party. We'll prepare tea and cookies, and you can have my dearest friend, Baloney, who I know you will love. You can meet my dearest friend. Please come this afternoon at 4 p.m. Kindest regards, Ollie. And the other one's, wait, the other one says, Dear Allison, thanks so much. Is there, can I? Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the invitation. Everything is good. Hope no bears in sight are here too. No bears in sight though. I will be there at 4:15 because I need to be sure to feed the birds or Mom will go crazy. See you soon, Sir Ollie. To Ollie from Allison. Others may not understand the laughs we have together and love we share for each other, but I know whatever happens, every goblin has a twin. I love you. Happy Siblings Day. That's very sweet.
So, you gonna come back down to help me, or what?
I'm helping. I don't know what else to
Allison,
look at.
I asked you to clean up the coffee table 3 times already.
Oops. I forgot. All right. I'll clean it up.
Thanks. While you do that, I'll check out the furniture. I'm guessing you want to keep the coffee table?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Sure. I'm not really planning on bringing furniture to Denali. And if I need a base in Juneau, you'll have all the furniture I need.
How very non-committal of you. All right. I'll keep it.
I really like that armchair.
It'll look sharp next to your tree stump nightstand.
I'll be the most stylish mountain man ever. But I was actually thinking it should go in your library.
Library? We may not even have a living room.
I have faith in you.
Sure, we'll keep it. Why not?
Maybe it'll be salvageable with a deep clean?
Are you gonna keep doing that?
Yes. I haven't seen one of
And
these in
finally,
forever, but I
I
used to
hate to
love them
say
when I
it,
was
but
little. They're so cool.
the couches get a one-way ticket to the dump.
No protest here. I think I have permanent knee damage from a decade of bumping into the corner of those damn things.
Well, then that's it for the living room. You are relieved from your duties.
Starting the fire again?
Yeah, I'm gonna boil some water. You want something to drink?
Are we going to answer? Or just, oh, you can have coffee or tea. Well, let's
Earl
have tea.
Grey or chai?
Your call. I'm fixing myself a good old cup of joe.
Ah, a nice pot of wakey juice.
Papa needs his rocket fuel.
I am so glad Eddie came through on the caffeine.
Shh, did you hear that?
The Ice King is sending us a warning. That's a nice face.
I wonder if my horse figurine is still in there.
You're what now?
You know, my blue toy horse. With the kind of melted face. The one you stole from me.
What? That never happened.
Yeah, it did. I won it at that little Halloween carnival they had at the school every year. You grabbed it and hid it in the pot. Then when I tried to get it back, you said there was a snake inside too.
Whatever you say, Horseface.
We have the same face.
I want to know if it's in there now. Okay, wait. Figure out what the memory is.
For your punishment, said the Ice King, you shall be banished from the forest. And if you dare come back before the new moon, you shall feel my anger in your gut. Hear it in the wind. Whoosh!
Huh. Do you think the Ice King would really react that way? He may be intimidating, but he's always fair and never mean.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe he tells the goblins to help the people they hurt instead?
Great idea, sweetie. Why don't we think about it at dinner? I'll put everything away for safekeeping while you go wash your hands.
Can you put them in the binder so they don't get stained?
Of course, love.
I still think my dark and twisty version was better.
We put so many hours into that book.
Yeah. Our binder was full of extra drawings and incomplete stories. Think they're all still in the kitchen drawer?
We should go take a look.
Okay, let's go. Kitchen drawer. Okay, Tyler's gonna
Come check this out. Allison's first drafts. Right. 'Cause I didn't contribute at all.
Come on. I know you did. I can't believe she kept all these.
You'd think putting them on the fridge for a couple of weeks would have been enough.
You know how we thought of ourselves as the goblins? Did you ever get the sense that maybe Mary Ann was the princess in the stories?
Yeah. She called her bedroom the princess's sanctum, and she was all alone in the woods, in this house, until we showed up.
She was. Alone, but with a few friends who helped her along the way.
What are you doing?
Research. So, if Mary Ann was the princess, then who were all the rest?
And here we go.
Oh, come on. Humor me.
Okay. Let's see. We should probably read about the pelican and the moose then. So, we read the pelican's party. The bear's big paws. I think the pelican helps her friends is probably the pelican one. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, an early winter storm blanketed everything in snow. It was so early in the year that the creatures of the forest were not yet ready for an ordinary winter, much less a bad one, and everyone agreed the storm was a sign the Ice King had plans for a long, cold winter. The princess had grown up in the kingdom where it was sunny all year long, and the goblins were very young, so no one in the big wooden house knew how to prepare for such a winter. The house was not well insulated, and they did not have enough fuel or food. Only the pious pelican noticed their plight, and when it came time to fly south with the other birds, her heart was heavy with sadness. What can I do? She thought. I am a migratory bird, and if I were to stay, who would look after my flock? The time came to go, and the pelican struggled to take flight. It felt as though a laden weight were struck right in the center of her chest. What can I do? She thought. I am a migratory bird, and if I were to stay, who would look after my flock? She managed to take off, but only just barely, flapping fiercely to catch up with the other birds. As the pious pelican began her journey, the storm picked up, battering her to and fro. She had fallen well behind the flock, and she was already growing tired. But for all her challenges in the air, she could tell things were much worse on the ground. A deep freeze had settled over the forest. The leaden weight in her chest grew heavier, and she thought about the princess and the goblins. What can I do? She thought. I'm a migratory bird, and if I were to stay, who would look after my flock? The storm intensified, and the pelican was in a total whiteout. She knew she would have despaired, but all she could feel was the weight which had grown and grown until she thought she might drop out of the sky. She felt called to help the princess and the goblins, but she ignored it. I should have stayed, she thought, but she had ignored it. It was the right thing to do, and now I'm lost with no way to make it right. Suddenly, she was plucked from the sky and deposited in the hall of the Ice King. Pelican, he said, you were flying in circles around my mountain. I was lost, she said, weighted down by the weight of guilt in my heart. The Ice King stared at her sagely. Is it guilt, or is it something else? Open your beak. He reached down inside of her, pulling out a glowing stone. The pious pelican was surprised at how it filled her with warmth, chasing away cold and her doubt. You know what you must do, said the Ice King. The pious pelican flew straight for the big wooden house. Snow had already blown in through the many cracks, and the ice crept across the floorboards. She found the princess and the goblins huddled in front of the quiet hearth, nearly frozen solid. No, she cried, and then she placed the stone in the princess's lap. The warmth of it spread through the whole house, melting all that had frozen. The princess threw her arms around the pelican's chest, and the goblins clung to her. Thank you, they cried. You're welcome, said the pelican, smiling in deep satisfaction. What is it? Asked the princess, staring at the wonderful stone. At first, said the pelican, I thought it was my guilt. But when the Ice King pulled it out of me, I realized it was something much more powerful. Just then the storm broke, and the skies cleared, and the pelican filled the big wooden house's larder with food from her beak, and she took to the skies, lightened by the knowledge that through her charity, everyone in the big wooden house would be warm and fed until spring. And that is the story of how the pious pelican saved the wise princess and crafty goblins from the long winter. And then we need the one about the moose. We also have one, the pelican forgives the goblins. There's other ones about the bear too, but moose. The moose teaches the goblins. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins were hungry. This wasn't unusual. The goblins were always hungry, but today they were particularly hungry. They opened the wise princess's cupboards to look for a snack, but all she had was a small pile of nuts and berries and just one strip of dried fish. The goblins grabbed it all and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. They went out into the woods to look for more to eat. First they dropped by the small pond. The big frog was asleep, and beside the pond was a pile of insects she had caught for eating after she woke up. The goblins crept up to the pile, careful not to wake the big frog. As they got close, she ribbited loudly, and they froze. But the big frog kept sleeping, so they grabbed the pile of insects and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, they found the stalwart moose watching them. Did you just steal Big Frog's food? Look, this got replaced by something. The goblins tried not to look guilty, but failed. She said we could have them, they cried. Oh, really? Asked Moose. Let's ask her. So Moose woke up Big Frog and asked, Did you say the goblins could have your food? The big frog looked at the goblins, who she knew were always hungry, and nodded. Yes, I did. Really, said the Moose, surprised. Frog nodded, and the Moose sighed. All right, then, he said, and he had to let the goblins go. Their next stop was the river. So they watched as the old bear swiped a at a leaping salmon, catching it deftly in his large paw. He laid it out upon the rock and left it to dry, lumbering into the woods to seek out some berries. The crafty goblins crept up to the rock carefully in case Old Bear returned. They reached the rock, grabbed the salmon, and gobbled it up. But they were still hungry, and as they crept back into the woods, the stalwart moose once again was waiting for them. "Are you going to tell me Old Bear said you could have that?" "Yes," replied the goblins. Old Bear ambled up, and at that moment, and Moose asked him, "Did you leave that fish for the goblins?" Old Bear looked at the goblins, and who he knew were always hungry, and he nodded. "I did," he said. "Really?" asked the old Moose. "Really," said the Old Bear. After Moose left, Old Bear said to the goblins, "Be sure to tell the princess I was kind to you, and don't steal my fish again." The goblins, still hungry, went looking for one more meal. As they crept to the mangy muskrat's lodge and began to climb inside, when they were dragged right back out, the stalwart moose dangled them by the seats of their pants and said, "Now I know Mangy Muskrat didn't tell you that you could eat his food. Besides, he blames you for his coat being ruined. Besides, he barely has enough for himself and doesn't share with anyone." And the goblins began to protest, but he shook his head. He set the goblins down and said, "Come with me." The goblins followed the stalwart moose to the part of the river and where it ran slow enough for them to walk safely. He gave them each a fishing line and said, "I'm going to teach you to fish, so that when you're hungry, you will not need to steal from the other animals of the forest. It will be hard work, but it will be honest." The crafty goblins were not against hard work. They were just hungry. So they listened to the moose, who soon pulled a wiggling fish out of the river. They ate them up, and finally they were no longer hungry. And that's how the moose came to teach the crafty goblins to fish. Okay, so we've got the pelican. And I'm confused as to what it wants me to do. Like, am I just not looking at the right thing? So I would think. I'm pushing the buttons. And the right trigger is definitely the thing that. Oh, there. Okay. Okay, so we want to.
You go here.
And yeah, that should be correct.
Poor Moose. Really didn't do him justice.
Justice? Kind of ironic, huh?
Considering he was the lawful good one.
Too bad the law isn't really just.
Pelican.
She was the most generous one.
Yeah, but there was always a catch. The bear was the most helpful one. He was always around.
Stalking her?
What? No.
I mean, he was kinda always there. Lurking. You done?
Yes, I am. I am done.
All right. I think I'm done.
You sure?
How do you like them apples?
You know, I think you might be onto something. What about these guys? I don't see them being real-life people. Or this one.
Look at those. Look at those.
Yep. Totally Marianne.
Why a princess, though? Why not a queen?
She hated authority.
Yeah. She'd have been a terrible ruler.
Okay.
The specific human attributes you have assigned to these forest animals are truly thought-provoking.
Indubitably.
Yeah, probably that's right. Ugh.
You better hurry, or the Mad Hunter will catch us! We need to hide. going on? I don't know. Is he here? Is he really here? I don't know. I'm scared. Go away!
Yeah! Go back to the forest!
I forgot about that. We'd been pretending he was there.
And then, suddenly he was.
That was the only time that happened, right? Allison? Wait. It felt way too real. It was...
Us. Pushing our imagination way too far.
Great. Sam Kansky, Grandmaster of Bad Timing. We're not done with this conversation.
Morning, Sam.
Ahoy, goblins! I ran into Chief Brown, who said you were starting to clean up on the house this morning, so, I kind of figured you might need some supplies.
Thank you. That was very thoughtful.
Oh, also got something for you, Tyler. Every man needs a good knife. There you are.
Thanks, Sam.
Good. Good, yeah. Oh, and before I forget, for the lady of the house. It was her mom's favorite recipe. Still make it darn near every week. Think of her every time.
Thanks. But we don't have a stove. Still no electricity.
Oh, yeah. That fuse box is busted. Just another thing I've been meaning to put back together around here.
Where is it? I can take care of it.
Oh, I don't doubt you can. But, I've been kicking this thing back to life for the last 20-some years. I'll give you a hand.
All right.
Box is in the barn. Follow me.
We'll be right behind you.
Well, I guess old bears can learn new tricks.
Yep. Come on. Let's go get our electricity back on.
Let's see. I think this is a good spot to stop. Just because, like, we have saved and, but thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I think this has been a fun part. I am excited to keep going through the story with you. I love you all so much. Watching these videos means the world to me. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching. It means so much to us. If you enjoyed your time here and would like to see more, you can consider subscribing here to the YouTube channel. We upload 2 days a week, on Mondays and on Saturdays. And if you want even more than that, we stream 4 days a week on our Twitch channel, which has the same name as our YouTube channel. We stream on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 8 to 10 Eastern Time, and on Sundays from 2 to 4 Eastern Time. Plus, you can look for some pop-up streams in the afternoons here and there. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.